And welcome to another episode of the Rhino's Collections. I've been asked about my game collection. For the most part, it's fairly standard. My retro gaming has just restarted. I just restarted collecting it again. But I'll show you the stuff because I'm doing these gaming segments now. If there are games you want me to do Wii Plays with, let me know. If there's games you want me to do stuff against my buddies with, let me know. If there's stuff you want to play against me online, let me know. Anyway, we'll start over on this side. This is the more, this side, and then that side. That side's the more retro stuff. This stuff's the modern stuff. I have a lot of stuff for PS3 and PS2, and not much for anything else, but PlayStation was what I really did. And I am starting to recollect a lot of PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1 and even regular Xbox games now, because they're so cheap, and there are some good ones out there still. Anyway, we'll start over here. So we have Oblivion, XCOM Enemy Within, Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare, which was DLC when it first came out, Heavenly Sword, Dead Space, Resistance Fall of Man, Madden 13. I don't really care for basketball, baseball, or football games. I buy them just for my buddies. NHL 10, Soul Calibur 4, Grand Theft Auto 4, TNA Impact, UFC Unleashed, Mortal Kombat vs. DC, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, Far Cry 4, Dead Rising 2, Frank's Revenge, which is the character from Dead Rising 1, The Last of Us, Fallout New Vegas Game of the Year Edition, regular Fallout 2, Dead Rising 2, sorry, Bioshock, Borderlands, and XCOM Enemy Within. I know it's up there. I got this for $10, and I got that for $5, and I bought that first, and I saw this for $10, so I bought it. NCAA 08, Duke Nukem Forever, Tekken 3, Sega Genesis Collection. This has like 40 Genesis games on it. Dark Souls, NHL 09, Fallout 3 Game of the Year, Assassin's Creed, Metal Gear Solid 2, Grand Theft Auto 5, NHL 13, NHL 15, Far Cry 3, and Twisted Metal. Some Xbox games. We have SpongeBob and Fable. SpongeBob is my wife's. Down here we have Rugby, Tetris, and Time Splitters for the original Xbox. Then we have PS2 games, Gran Turismo 4. We'll just throw that up here while we do this. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. Dance Dance Revolution 2. Rock Band, Grand Theft Auto, Vice City, Bully, ESPN, football, NCAA basketball, AC/DC, I believe that's a rock band, Guitar Hero, Rock Band, Guitar Hero, old hockey, Dragon Quest 8, Final Fantasy 7, is that it? No, 12. Final Fantasy 12. Wow, why did I say 7? Wow. Sometimes I wonder with my vision. Okay, Wii games. Wii Sports. Yeah, look at that giant fucking toe. Mario Kart. NHL 2K9, Wii Fit. Here's the thing with getting married, right? You're always going to have a wife that asks for things. Oh, I really, really want this. And then you go out and you take your time and you find it. You get your buddies to drive you somewhere, Super Smash Brothers, and you hunt it down because it was the year it came out and everybody wanted it. And you finally hunt one down and spend big money on it. And she's used it twice. The board is sitting behind me, never used. Super Mario Galaxy. In all honesty, some of these games I've never even played. I just got them for cheap at times, and that's just the way it is. We play. Zelda. And lastly would be Red Steel. And again, I've never played Red Steel either. Xbox One games. Dead Rising 3. Mortal Kombat X. Dying Light. Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Bladestorm Nightmare. Metro Redux. State of Decay. Rise of Rome, this is the one I'm doing a Wii play on right now. And Rare Replay, which is 30 of Rare's titles. Actually really excited to get this because it was like 30 bucks. You paid $1 a game, and there's some games on there that are really, really nice to have that I don't have to collect anymore. And that's the thing, I will buy these compilations if just to cut things off of my collections. So then we roll over to this side, and this is the retro games. You notice that it's not nearly as packed. I am just starting again, and it is hard to get some of these at fair prices. And I have bit the bullet on a few of them. What do we have? We have Mario Kart 64, Turok. No, I think this one is, this one's NHL, it's Stanley Cup. Madden. What happened with these was the N64 was mine, and I left it when I moved out, and then I came back and grabbed it. Zelda years later, because my brothers didn't play it anymore, and they had gotten rid of half my games and destroyed them, and Quake, and yeah, it is just the way it is. These are Game Boy games. These were all sent to me by Will. I don't have a Game Boy itself, but I do have a Super Nintendo and a Game Boy Advance, thanks to Will. But I also have a Retron, and I have a Retron 5, so it has the Game Boy slot. So, 1 second here. Bang! What do we have game-wise here? Final Fantasy, which is actually pretty awesome. I'll try that out, see how it is. I know that the Game Boy games, their batteries were not Bassmasters. I know the Game Boy games, they were not, their batteries weren't meant to last all that long. So we'll see how they go. Luckily, playing it through the Retron, if I have to play it through the Retron, will do save states for me. R-Type. Tetris. Everybody knows Tetris. What's that? Is that Operation C? Yeah, Operation C. So that's a Contra game, I do believe. If I remember correctly. Another Kirby. Kirby's Dream Land 2. Kirby's Dream Land. And lastly, Pokemon Red. Sega Genesis games would be next. We have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighter. We have Mortal Kombat 3. Lemmings, that's thanks to Nicholas. Road Rash. Street Fighter 2. And Mortal Kombat 2. These... So, I mean, my Sega Genesis... you can buy a lot of Sega Genesis games that are also Super Nintendo games, but the Sega Genesis ones, when you're collecting, are always so much cheaper. But I do find that the Sega Genesis games do run a little slower, a little sloppier, when it's a combination between an an SNES or a Sega Genesis. I find that the Sega Genesis ones usually run sloppier, but for a collection and just to have them to play, Sega Genesis might be the better way to go because they're always so much cheaper. Up here we have some regular PlayStation, some PlayStation 1 stuff, so Final Fantasy Anthology, which does have, what is it, Final Fantasy 3? I think it's 2 and 3, or I can't even remember. Final Fantasy 5 and Final Fantasy 6. So Final Fantasy 6 is Final Fantasy 3 here in North America. Final Fantasy 5 is a Final Fantasy from Japan that has a lot of job description type things going on. So you can be a blue mage and all this stuff, and you keep changing your job description to change your skills. Final Fantasy Origins, which is Final Fantasy 1 and Final Fantasy 2. I've never played Final Fantasy 2, the original Final Fantasy 2. Which brings up this guy here, which is Final Fantasy 4 and Chrono Trigger. Final Fantasy 4 is North America's Final Fantasy 2. So I picked those up because buying Final Fantasy games on the SNES is, you're looking at hundreds of dollars. So that was a much better way for me to go. And then this one here is Bushido Blade. And for those of you that haven't played Bushido Blade, it's a great little fighting game. Basically, it's 1 or 2 hit kills. Yeah, you can take out their arms, their legs. Fun little game. The SNES games. Rock and Roll Racing. I was just talking about this game and how I was going to have to bite the bullet and pay big money for it, and I did. It was like 35 US, so I spent like 47 Canadian for it. I didn't want to, but I love the game, so I had to. Star Trek Starfleet Academy. I used to be amazing at this game, and we'll see if I can do it again. I used to be able to take out like 3 Klingon birds of prey with an Oberth class starship. So I would take like the weakest Federation ship and be able to do it. I actually think I might do a Wii Play with that and go through the whole game. Primal Rage. Whatever. Clay Fighter. Now I'm going to put Clay Fighter here because I'll show you something when I get to it. And it's Bill Lambert's Combat Basketball. I remember liking that when I was a kid, and then me and Norman played it, and fuck does it suck now. Killer Instinct, the original Killer Instinct. F-Zero, sent to me by Will. Thank you very much, Will. Oh, this is the one. I'll put it down here for now until we get through the rest of these. Saturday Night Slam Masters, wrestling game. NBA Jam. And then, your Super Game Boy to play the Game Boy games in if I don't want to do them through the Retron. I do have an SNES. I have an SNES, a Genesis, and a regular Nintendo, and the N64 all here. I put the SNES, the Sega Genesis, and the NES away once I got my Retron. They're still here, they still work, but I put them away. Anyway, the other game I have here is Cliffhanger. And the reason I pulled this out is the first time I ordered from Lukey Games in Florida, I ordered Clay Fighter. And I got Cliffhanger. Now, how could they screw that up, you might wonder? Well, if we flip them both around and do this, they both say they're Clay Fighter. SNES Clay Fighter, SNES Clay Fighter. Now, I know that sometimes Americans have a hard time in school, but this one says Clay Fighter and is Clay Fighter. Okay, I get it. This one says Clay Fighter, but the front says Cliffhanger. The top says Cliffhanger. I'm pretty sure you could do more of a look than just, hey, it's Clay Fighter in the box. Oh, it's not Clay Fighter. Oh. Fuckers. And then lastly up here is the NES games. So let's pull these guys down and we'll put them back up as we go. I do have extras of a few of these. Some were sent to me by Will. Some of them were in my own collection that I had a few extras of. Legacy of the Wizard. I'll show you what all these games are. I'll do at least some playing with each of them. Dragon Spirit. Karnov. And a lot of these games I don't Wizards and Warriors. I was going to say, is a lot of these games, you don't even realize how hard some of them are. Legendary Wings, until you play them again. And then you wonder how you did so good at games when you were a kid. The original Final Fantasy, again, I have it over here on that, but this would be great to know. I'm gonna test it out to see if that battery still works or not. Her up there. Sector Z, another one from Will. And I believe that's the one that had the all your bases belong to belong to us. Blades of Steel, great hockey game, one of the first hockey games out there. And then the other really good hockey game from back then, ice hockey, where you could be the short guy, the tall guy, or the fat guy. I like the team of fat guys. Dragon Warrior, another one where I wonder if the battery actually works or not, and we'll find out when we play it. Bionic Commando, and I've done this one now. You didn't see the very ending because I just didn't want to do the last level again when I missed the fucking cockpit twice. What's this one? Dream Master. Okay. Dream Master. That one's from Will. I've never played that one. Don't know anything about it. And then lastly, Metroid. So that's my collection so far. I am still trying to get a bunch of games. I'm going to try and find The Lost Vikings. I am trying to find... Ooh, why am I so out of focus now? Okay, so I'm trying to find Lost Vikings. I'm trying to find Turtles in Time and Turtles the Arcade game, where I'm not spending as much money as is being asked for. There's a lot of games I'm trying to get my hands on. I'll be checking out flea markets and everything else to see them. But if there's anything on here you want to see me play, let me know. If there's anything you want to play against me, let me know. And if there's anything you want to see me play against my buddies, let me know. For the most part, you'll probably end up seeing them all, but your comments will decide what I do first. Thank you guys. I did finish Rise of Rome. It's not all posted yet, but the game is finished, so that one is off the list unless I'm just doing unless I'm doing multiplayer stuff with it. So thank you. Bye.